Hello, everybody. I'm hoping the echo isn't too bad. I am in the new YouTube studio right now. I'm going to show pictures in a second. And yeah, let me know about the echo. Let me know if it seems like there's, more of an echo than usual, because this is a big room, 24 by 48 by 16 feet ceiling. There's a lot happening here. So I haven't yet finished all of the acoustic treatment. So I'm going to be working on it very shortly. And I wish I could pop out the chat. I'm using StreamYard. What is up? Okay, so it's not too bad, somebody said. Hopefully that's consistent with everybody else. What is up, Derek? Hello, how is it going? Ison, Salmon, what is up? Watching from Kenya. Awesome. I guarantee you the weather is probably much better there than it is here. Oh, man. I'm in Northeast Ohio. It's very, it's starting to get pretty cold. What is up? Just doing a rare live stream. It's been a long time, since July, since I've done like a YouTube, portfolio kind of live stream. What is up, Alexander? How is the pet snake? I actually sold the pet snake. I don't have snakes anymore. I do have the large 6-foot monitor lizard, Asian water monitor. But yeah, so yeah, there is a bit of an echo. I'm going to be fixing that. Let me show you, before we get started, let me show you some pictures and a video of the YouTube studio so far. It's not done yet. I've been working on this for so freaking long, every day since May. Let me show you some pictures here. Here's a video, actually. So there's a big projector screen hitting a 22-foot wall by 10.5 feet. It was pretty expensive to get a projector that large. This isn't the best video quality. This is actually Facebook screwing up the quality, unfortunately. But check this out. It is so cool. That's me up there. Oh, darn. It's really screwing up the video quality. No big deal, but you can kind of get an idea. I have stage lighting and there's a guitar over there. I'm going to be building a stage. I'm going to be having a second YouTube channel on music. That's why I built a stage, but I also be able to utilize it for like talks and stuff, which is exciting. Here's a Top Gun Maverick playing on the big screen with my daughter in front. Here's like a wider shot. That's damask wallpaper, that old school kind of foil wallpaper. Here's kind of like a normal like what it looks like when I have all the lights powered up so far. I have recessed lighting over here. Got some acoustic panels on the left and right, but that's not the main issue. The main issue is the wall opposite of the projector screen. That is not treated at all behind me. So I have to put a lot of insulation or rock wool insulation, which is also soundproofing, to prevent the reverbs going back and forth. Here is me sitting behind my 3 monitors, 27-inch monitors. Ignore that little cord in the middle that has to be routed up there. That's the HDMI cable from the projector. But I was watching some table tennis, some ping pong. It is awesome. So a lot of money spent on this, probably about $100,000 so far for the building and everything inside of it. So anyhow, yeah, I can't wait to start properly utilizing this channel, because we're also coming into I'm going to be shifting the type of content that I feature on this channel once this building is fully complete. I'm no longer going to be doing like just random tutorials. Like, each video is not connected to each other. Like, I want to tell a story through a series of videos that ties each other together. And so it'll be focused on building internet businesses, which will include design and development, of course, but also other stuff. So that's what I'm kind of, just kind of a teaser for what's to come, and also with really high production value, thus this building. So what we're going to do is today we're just doing a regular portfolio review like I did before, and I'm going to be answering the question, would I actually hire you? If not, what are the issues that I would go ahead and fix? So let's start with the first one that came in. And by the way, people, I definitely check out the top link in the YouTube description to get 23% or 30% off. I forget what the offer is. Check the YouTube description at designcourse.com/UI/UX, and also the CSS course. You will get during this stream, you will get a percentage off, which you can take advantage, and the information's in the top link of the YouTube description. Learn UI UX in an interactive way. And I'm going to be revamping this course here pretty soon. And here's a cool thing. Once you join now, it doesn't matter. You get access to all future updates as well. So let's get started. So the very first one is from Lifeless Muffin. I like that. I like that name. Oh, shoot. Let's go back. I thought I had my Zoom tool up. Let me get that up and running real quickly. Where is that at? 1 second, people. This is frustrating that I did not have that ran yet. Okay. All right. So yeah, there we go. Let's go back up here for the first one. Wait, what's happening here? I went way up too high. There we go. There we go. Okay, so Lifeless Muffin. All right, so the landing page demo, it's not complete. The rest is available on Figma. Let's just click the Figma result. All right. So, all right, would I hire this person? I believe this is kind of like the hero section right here. The main website that this person linked to, I did check it briefly, just as the only one I looked at beforehand before starting the stream. Cool sort of effect here in the background. Not much here though. I can't scroll down. There's nothing else. This is literally all it is. That's why we're looking at the full thing. So would I hire you just based on this alone? Maybe, but I'd need to see more. So let's see what you have planned. You have an about me section right here. This section is just a little bit uninspired. I feel like this could be structured slightly differently. It's kind of, you know, we have, this is off-centered slightly, and this whole thing is also off-centered. There's extra white space here. I want to rethink this slightly. You can keep it simplistic, but you know, that's no big deal. I do like this section as well. The potential projects. And then interested in working with me, drop me an email. That's a good call to action. Here's the about me section. Okay. All righty. So would I hire you based on that? No, I would need to see more, but this is incomplete. I understand. So it would depend on the quality of these projects right here. So I would have to click on these and see what your actual work for real clients looks like. That's why it's so freaking important. And I tell a lot of my coaching clients that you need to have at least 2 real projects for real clients that are live and accessible on different websites. In order to be even considered to be hired, you have to, and preferably if you only have 2 or 3 or 4, you need to have these in case study format to really fill out the content of your site and make them look like robust projects. So would I hire you based on this alone? No, but then again, that's okay because you haven't finished it yet. But I do like what I see here. I can tell you do have a good design skill. So that's good. So let's go on. The next one's going to be from Varun or whatever. All righty. So this is another Figma prototype. You see, we have now I'm going to tell you right now, would I personally hire you just based on this feeling? No, I wouldn't. I see we have some issues right here specifically where it mentions UI design, user experience, motion graphics, 3D characters. With the purple text along with all the various word changes and the fact that, you know, this headline, like this UI design users, okay, this is a certain font size, but then we have slightly smaller font size underneath it with 4 different lines. That's cluttered. All right. So you're kind of impacting and negatively affecting or establishing your visual hierarchy, typographically speaking. So I would simplify this area quite a bit more. You coming out of the coffee cup, that's, look at that. Oh boy. Okay. So very interesting indeed. I would also add, I would restructure this section right here where it says hello. You know, that's a lot of text right here to expect people to read initially. So I would reduce the amount of type, increase the line height because that's also, all that stuff's pretty close together. And then also reduce the width because going all the way from the very left to the right of a desktop design, it's just too much text, too much scanning. It makes it difficult to read. Looking at the rest of this, I would probably improve your these thumbnails right here. Definitely could improve that. You have issues with these cards right here. Not enough white space on the left and right. So, you know, the type is real close to the edges of your card. So it's not ideal. You would definitely benefit by taking advantage of the UI UX course. So, yeah, I see some things that are promising, but there's definitely a lot of work to be had. So unfortunately, I'm going to say no, I would not hire you. So keep at it though. We're going to go with the next one, which is Peex. All right. Okay. I've seen this person's design probably a million times. So I'm going to say you definitely want to get a different picture of yourself. Being washed out and then, you know, being on top of like, I could tell this is like a watermark in the background, some type of letter or something, which has blue with it. I mean, if you're going to make yourself all desaturated, make everything else desaturated too, perhaps. But I definitely think you need to have a better, higher quality picture right here. I craft beautiful web experiences. It's a pretty good in terms of ad copy, good headline. And then it's just this whole area though right here is pretty small in relation to the grand scheme of things. So I'd like to see you boost things up quite a bit on this larger desktop. So coming up down here, I'm checking out the work. Alrighty. So a little bit about this section. You have 3 different pieces of type for each card: the title, the description, and then the actual website address. And they're all equally applied through white space. I am not a fan of that. What I would rather see is this. So if I get out, I have 12 here, and I get this section right here. I'm not sure if I'll be able to quickly and easily do like a negative margin top just to put it like, okay. All right. So what I would do is I'll select this one instead. I'm going to show you the fix I would make. We'll do a margin top negative 0.5 M. Or maybe a 0.6 M. Okay. So now if you look at this one specifically and compare this in relation to this, is, I like this one better because it's kind of taking the title of the client and then also, you know, what exactly it was, your description of it, your very brief description, or a subhead, you could call it, and it's putting it together. It's grouping it. So grouping your type is very important when it comes to cards and type in general. Then we have this further down to actually access it, more white space. We're going to leave that. So that's a real quick note right there. Looking at everything else here, increase the line height. This is not much white space between the lines of text, a little bit hard to read. All right, so for this, I like seeing real projects, which is great. I can click view more, and it looks like you have, you know, a few different clients. That's good. If I click it, what happens? I get a screenshot. That's not what we want. When it comes to your actual portfolio, okay, right here. Okay, so at least this is on a live website. But when you click on these, it just brings up a screenshot. So that's not what you want. If this is live on a real website, which it should be taking you to this actual website where it's live. People don't like seeing just screenshots or mock-ups. It doesn't inspire confidence, really. So based on that, would I personally hire you? No, I think you need to make some improvements. You're not far away. Get a better picture, address some of those typographic issues. And yeah, continuing on, let's go on next. This is designed by Ison, I think. All right, let's check this out. All right, so looking at this, yes, I am in the new YouTube. Turn off the pet snake. Oh crap, shooty. How do I get rid of that? Hide current comment. There we go. Sorry about that. All right, so, all right, I like this. Okay, so everything's pure white here. Let's build and rank your Webflow website. Webflow design and SEO that makes you stand out from the competition. What are you looking for? Okay, that's interesting. All righty. Let's scroll down. Oh, okay. I do like this. We have smooth scroll as well. So if I look at the tech stack here, it is using Webflow, so that's good. Very simple cards. I have no problem with the cards. Although I would say, you know, having just check marks on each one of them, maybe make, you know, unique icons. Again, not a big deal. Not sure if I'm too fan of having these in these borders, these high contrast borders, but that's okay. This is a good section here. Good fact section. Okay, so I understand that Webflow has a lot of template-based components you can use out of the box. I don't know if you designed all of this from scratch, but for what it is, assuming maybe perhaps that you did or even not, this is actually pretty solid. Looking at your work, just from the thumbnails alone, this looks pretty solid. So I have no problem with this at all. So would I hire you based on this? Yes, I would. That is my first yes. Very, very nice. All right, continuing on, we have Bogden. So this is not a template. It was made for me by scratch to discover Romanian doctor. So this really isn't a portfolio. We'll take a look at it real quickly just to see the quality here. All right. Strictly from a design perspective, everything looks solid except for this section right here. And I see it in a few other areas. I'm not a fan of having this gray right here, especially with the blue icons. I've said this before, but you never want to mix color like this with a gray. There's just not good color contrast. So I would rethink that, how you approach this. Maybe just make the background white as well and put maybe a very like a 1 pixel light gray border around the rest of it. But I do like this hover effect as well. So yeah, this is actually quite solid. And from this alone, the design is strong enough to where I'd say, yeah, I would hire you. So very nice. Just a couple things there. Miguel, let's check this one out. Trying to move through these because I know we got a lot of submissions. Okay, so this is, what is this? Okay, so this is a very unique situation, but the problem is I'm having a hard time understanding what this website is about. So let me just, okay, so I can't scroll. I can click on things. Plant therapy, graphic web designer. I don't know what that means. So we have an issue of confusion and execution, unfortunately. And notice over here, if I come over here where there's like a toolbar, it almost makes you think about, like, what is this? So I'm going to be honest, I don't know what this is. It looks crazy. It looks interesting. It looks like some sort of app. It's called I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what's happening. Does anybody else know what's happening here? So based on this, I mean, this is, obviously some work has gone into this. This is sort of cool, but I'm just kind of confused on what this is. Yeah. So I wouldn't hire you based on that. I'm just kind of confused. I'm sorry, buddy. All right. And that's one of those things. Sometimes you really have to make sure that you're communicating the idea of your website, even if it's a portfolio, very accurately. I develop things for the web. Build, develop, and ship. Get to know me more. All right. Well, let's scroll down. All righty. Selected projects. So what happens if I click it? So we're taken to what is essentially a link. So here's the website link, and it's not very obvious. We want to make this way more obvious because a lot of people like to see the actual website realized on a website for a real client, which fortunately you do have. I think you need to emphasize that a little bit more. In terms of the layout that I'm seeing here, for instance, this case study page, it's not really utilizing columns, even though we're on desktop. It looks like everything is pretty much just, stacked horizontally, like as if it was built for mobile. So I would really think about restructuring that and get yourself more interesting, unique layout. Essentially, looking at some this stuff, like there's not a lot of white space between your sections of content. So you definitely want to work on just some general UI design layout skills. Yeah, for sure. Like down here, this is too much of a weird cluttered mess. Contact me with just an email. Should have an embedded form and also multiple forms of contact if you're serious about getting clients or whatever. Download my full resume right here, and then built by all these. Yeah, so definitely want to improve your UI design skills. So would I hire you based on this? I would not. You just need to spend a little bit more time leveling up your UI layout skills. So definitely think about that. Okay, Capt Ked, these are my designs in Behance. Could you please review the latest few? I haven't updated my portfolio. So let's check out just a couple here. Football UI app. All right, I like what I see so far. Just a kind of like a mobile layout. Not too bad. All right. Yep. Yeah, so if this was imagined with like GSAP or something with some nice animation, this could really make it come together. This is utilizing that trend that we saw in early 2023. I forget the name of it. Some orphism or whatever. Take a look at one more. Another mobile layout here. Oopsie. Stop that. Jesus Christ, what is happening? There we go. Let's try it again. There we go. Yeah, this is solid. From what I see here, this is pretty solid. Probably want to reduce the line height right there between Rocket and League. But yeah, I would say, based on what I've seen here so far, you look to be pretty solid design skills. So yeah, I would hire you. Next up would be, I run a web design agency in the Channel Islands. Would love your feedback as I learn most of what I know from you. Very awesome. Let's check this out. Hopefully what I've taught you would lead me to hire you. All right. So one thing I'm not too much of a fan of here on this, let's see how it responds when we're, okay. So I probably wouldn't intersect CR websites with this image. I would push this image down with CSS just to let that top area breathe a little bit more. Scrolling down here. All right, not too big of a fan of this just because there's really no layout structure in this area, but let's see what else that happens. All right, so I do like these types of these thumbnails. These are pretty solid. You could do something very simple, like when you hover over them, it'll grow the background image a little bit. Just nice interactions like that are, that's going to be the thing that we see more of going on in web design going into 2024 is interaction. And I don't see any of that. Might want to add more white space around these two, vertically speaking, so they really stand out and they really catch attention more as people are scrolling down. These kind of get lost right here when they're so close to these cards. So add like 2 to 3 to 4 times the amount of the white space above and beneath. All righty. All right, so yeah, like there's some areas where I feel like you could just utilize a little bit more layout structure in terms of columns. But some of them you did pretty well. Like this area right here is pretty solid. I might want to reduce the size a bit because we do have a lot of white space right here. But you're getting the idea in some parts. Some parts I think do need to be improved. So would I hire you? But possibly. I'm not going to say a yes or no. So let's continue on. Peex tubing. I had to lay a bunch of Peex tubing under my floor because that's how my building is heated. through radiant floor heat. Water and glycogen, which is like antifreeze, runs through it, and I have a gas boiler that warms up the concrete, and it just emanates. It's like one of the best forms of heating. Anyway, I digress. All right, looking at this portfolio. Hello, I'm Riv Desai, a software engineer based in Goa, India. So this is, unfortunately, there's not much here. If I saw this and I was a potential client or whatever, I probably off the bat would not hire you, just because this section here isn't inspiring too much confidence here, because just there's 4 different pieces of type. They're real close together. The visual hierarchy isn't really established quite a bit. It's too mixed up. It's like a mixed podge, mashed thing of different stylings in this 4 sections. So greatly simplify that and really increase your primary headline in terms of the font size. So what I've worked on is nothing that I can click on. Oh, okay, wait, I could click on one of them, but it wasn't all that obvious, and it's not loading at the moment. So if I click on project, it's very interesting. So the project, like the first project, starts right at the exact top of the nav bar. There's no white space underneath it. So you definitely want to improve that in this layout. So unfortunately, from what I see here, if I click about, yeah, this is just a little bit too, I would say, you need to work on layout structure and really formulating and organizing things in a unique manner, rather than just putting, just paragraphs of text that span the whole width of the design. So based on this, I would personally not hire you, but that's okay. We can always improve our skills. And I would just suggest going on to sites like Awards or Behance, and Dribble, and just typing in design portfolio as a search and see what people were doing. And don't necessarily copy, but take inspiration from and develop your own sense of style. Globug, let's see here, working link. This is my second portfolio. It's kind of bad. I like the concept though, but this is what I'm here for. I'm still a beginner and a student, have no real life projects except pet projects made in high school. Alrighty, I remember those days. I was designing websites in high school for sure. I'm 40 years old now. Okay, so I do like the fact you have some type of interesting animation here. I am Ramsey, a 4th year computer science student. Okay, tap on the button below to learn more about me, and it's a play button. A little bit too slow on the animation. We don't want to have to sit here and wait that long, even though it wasn't that long in reality. People, though, when they're browsing, they want, quick information and access to information. And again, there's a lack of layout structure here. I'm on a 4K res monitor, maximized browser. We have a lot of space to work with. And it's just, it's all we have is just this small section right here, and then all this other white space over here. So need to try to fill this out a little bit better. And I don't like the fact that this is kind of like in slideshow format, so I can't scroll quickly to each section. Most people aren't going to sit here and just clicking through this while it takes multiple seconds for each section to show up and then come in. It just becomes a task, unfortunately. People want to be able to scroll on their own, quickly access the parts that they want. There's no navigation either for me to get to anywhere else. So I would not hire you based on this. I would rethink your navigation and your structure. Next up is submit my portfolio, which is a combination of UI, UX, and data analytics. Let's check that one out. I should probably check the chat and make sure I'm still streaming. Okay. Oh yeah, neomorphism. I don't think that was what it was. Or was it neomorphism? I don't know. Okay. Alrighty. So comprehensive information design. Now, I like the fact that you're doing like an interesting hover effect, this honeycomb effect, but what I would personally do is not make it so high contrast of a blue, make it more of a watermark, which means make it darker, almost unrecognizable from the black background. Because when you get over here, this makes it difficult to read this type right here. So just something small to think about. I'm not too much of a fan of this illustration right here where it says technical skill, experience, personality, organization. You also have an issue with white space. Look how close work ethic is to this card right here, this card section. Very, very close. I would separate that out much further, move these cards down. So if I do that real quickly and look at this section here, you do have a margin top of 5 rem. Let's do like 20 rem, maybe not that much. We'll do like 13 or 14 rem. That's better. Now you have equal white space above it as compared to beneath it. Still, I would move this stuff down as well. It's a little bit close to the top. And rethink the illustration right here. Now, one thing, data cleaning infographic, not too much of a fan of the high contrast white going around here. It makes it look boxy. So rethink that area and think about how you can get rid of that part, even if it's a part of the original design, just because it just makes things look boxy. And I'm just not a fan of that. It just reminds me of old school design. Looking out here. So I would definitely make these gray icons either the original color or just completely white. And also it is quite wordy right here. So you might want to add more white space between these 3 sections because there's quite a lot happening. All right. So would I hire you based on this? Unfortunately, I personally would not. I'm making a lot of enemies right now, but hopefully I'm helping as well. This is not a big deal because I don't hire designers anyways, but I am trying to give you my advice based on what I see. Let's see. Hey there, Gary. Would love you to take a look at my portfolio. Thanks in advance. Let's see if we've checked this one out. Yep. Okay. Oh, this one has some promise so far. Okay. You just killed it for me. Sorry. Yeah, I really like this thing that happened like right there. That's very cool. If that's you and that's a picture of you, which I doubt it is. I mean, if it is, that's awesome. But yeah, it says Ireland. Maybe it is. This right here, this text just pushed off way to the left, kind of like as an afterthought. And it's only literally like the width of 1/10 of the available space. I think we could definitely improve that. Oh, and this is also a parallax. So that's very cool. But this part's, I think it could be improved so much better. Let's scroll down here. Skills. Not happy at all about this. Ooh. And it's kind of like I wanted to stay there, but if you get to a certain part, it just automatically shifts me down. So that's an issue with navigation. Probably using green sock. Yes, you are. GSAP right there and React. It's a PWA. And so if I scroll down, like this doesn't give me enough context, just all of these and just kind of spread out evenly. I would rethink the layout for this section. And again, you can gain ideas just by looking at other people's portfolio, looking at those websites. So a little like up here where it says my story, just tucked up here, not equal white space to the left and right. I would improve that for sure. These cards would need to be improved as well. So it's very interesting because you have a really great beginning to the hero section when a person first lands on your website with that really cool parallax that you have going on. But the rest of the layout and the design skills that I see definitely don't translate to that. I want you to get everything else up to that level of quality. And that simply means by improving your design skills in terms of UI design specifically, because there's definitely a lot of things that you could be doing that would improve. For instance, like right here, this card can barely even read this type. Like if I zoom up, it's still hard to read, and I'm zooming up. So definitely take advantage if you haven't taken the UI UX courses. It's all stuff that I talk about in that course. If you use that coupon code as well and save yourself some money. So unfortunately, I would not hire you, but I keep my eye on you because if you did this, you can do everything. You can do everything else. You can level up to the point at which you really make everything come together. But this is a very cool part as well. Next up, we have Burn PM. I would appreciate your opinion on my portfolio and recommendations on how to increase the conversion rate of the website. Awesome. I'm glad you understand what conversion rate is. A lot of newbies don't, which is okay. Okay. Sorry, I'm just kind of reading some comments here. All right. Hi, my name is Dima. Me and my team creates simple. Yeah, you don't want to use creates just take off that S. Me and my team create simple or original and impressive websites, taking into current trends in UI design and SEO optimization. So it's a pretty big, I know that the trend these days is like having headlines that are big and lengthy, and you could get away with this, but this is a very typographic heavy design, as I can see here. So if I scroll down, I mean, look at all the type here in this section. So it's a little bit overwhelming. I would try to simplify and reduce the content, at least initially in this screen, how it's presented to us right now. Scrolling down, I mean, I do like the typography here. I like the colors. I like the line height. The typography in this section is pretty solid. I like this area. That's nice. Nice little simple interactions like this. I haven't seen too many people do that yet, so that's good. I would probably make the icon blue as well, although that's not a big deal. But yeah, I do like this as a very nice way to feature portfolio projects rather than just tiny little thumbnails, put in like a 2010 like iMac monitor or something. That's old school. We don't do that anymore. This is a much better approach from what I'm seeing. I like that a lot. Good quality photograph right here. You can tell it's not pixelated. You can use your iPhone probably. I like that. Yeah. So I would hire you based on this. Very nice. Awesome. What happens when I click on Let's Chat? Yeah, I don't know about this. I don't know about that, about this part. At least if you're going to have these, are these floating? So they're not floating, unfortunately. So it's usually a big, I've talked about this ad nauseum many times, but you don't want to rely on placeholder values alone. You want to use at least a floating label, and you want to make them higher contrast from what they are. But I still would hire you. Okay. Next up, I'm just reading real quick some of the comments. Praven Tech. All right. Hi there. I was in the middle of crafting my portfolio website when your YouTube notification popped up. It's 95% done. Let's check it out. All right. So I would make this animation, all this stuff here, come in faster. Additionally, I'm not too much of a fan of what's happening here. For instance, like if I zoom up, what is that? What is that? Hi, with 3 eyes, 2, 3, myself, Praven something. Okay, so I would definitely scrap that. Okay, scrap that part. Don't do that. That's not going to inspire confidence from clients who might be serious business professionals. They don't screw around with that type of stuff. And also, there's a lot of issues here just with this entire section. That's a cool little effect. You need to space out your elements quite a bit. Like for sure, take this element right here, copy the email ID, this section, push this down, more white space above it, separating. All right. Next up, it's a horizontal scroller. Okay, so now this is starting to get a little bit busy. Okay, we can see the animation behind it. We have like this glass screen, sort of frothy effect, glass morphism. But notice how busy it gets behind here. It's just a little bit too busy. So I would think about that. And with all this stuff and being blurred in the background, and then you have like these inset shadows with these other shadows, drop shadows, it's a little bit too much, in my opinion. I would really think about simplifying things as much as possible. So, yeah, I would heed the advice on those, but I'm not a fan of this style of design, so I wouldn't hire you based on what I see here so far. If I click live, all right. So, the small things like this logo on this blue, where it's like it's almost like a brown color, very bad contrast, very pixelated. We want to make everything, no matter what, even if it's a company logo, look sharp, high contrast, no pixelation. You want to use vector and yeah. So small things like that would definitely help. And also I wouldn't be hiding these to the point at which this happens. You want to set up your scroll triggers a little bit differently. Wow, looks like you're not using hardly anything, just Three.js. Wow, interesting. Okay. So yeah, let's go on to the next one. This is going to be, yeah, Cassidy, throwing my portfolio in the ring. It needs a lot of work. Okay, no problem. All right. Welcome. I'm jamming. Are you jamming? Yeah, we be jamming. No. Jamin. I'm not sure how to pronounce. Oh, wait, pronounced right here. Okay, Jamin. There we go. I was right the second time. We be jammin'. We be jamin'. All right. Shut up, Gary. Let's go. Presently, I'm designing user experiences at Toll Brothers and elevating brand presence through user-centric design principles that weave creativity into impactful solutions. That's a word salad right there. That's for sure. This whole section, it's a little bit, I like minimalism, but I think I would probably beef up the size of this part, especially this tiny text right here. This has to be like size 12 or 14. Boost this up. Outside of that, I do like how things are framed, very minimalistic. Let's scroll down. All righty. Yeah, so I like these type of thumbnails. Like I said before, nice big thumbnails that do more than just feature the design itself. Shows them in different contexts. I like that. So that's nice. All right. Yeah, very simplistic. Your contact information down here. I would, always put it in embedded contact form, multiple forms of contact, which I do see. You also have your social media up here on the right, but you don't mention it down here in the footer as well, which I would do. It's just an extra place for people to be able to contact you. So if I click on about, what happens here? Okay. Very simplistic. I don't know. I might hire you. I mean, your design here is pretty decent. I'd have to check out your other projects just to see. But yeah, overall, like compared to some of the other portfolios we've seen, you are definitely ahead. Would I hire you? Like I said, it depends. All right. So next up is TXM. Here's my portfolio that I've made some time ago. No, it's not mobile friendly. When looking at it, you might know where I got my inspiration from. Okay. Tom Wooster, front-end web developer. If you didn't know yet, I love the web and everything about it. You might be interested to see some of my work. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I didn't notice it. Like, I love the web and everything about it. Well, I didn't notice it. Like, what makes your design love it so much that you would say that? I don't know. Okay. I definitely think, however, that your scroll to learn more section over here, this is too cluttered. I mean, let me fix that. Let me spend a little bit of time just fixing this up real quick. So I'm going to take this. We're going to do a margin top of 4M. Okay, that's fine. Now we're going to work on the actual button itself. See this button where it says scroll to learn more, and you have a big thick stroke around it, but you don't have hardly any white space inside of the button surrounding the text itself. We want to boost that up a little bit more. If we're going to put this in button format, which I don't even think you should, because if we click it, okay, that's interesting. It's actually serving two purposes. It's a button, but it also is a caption indicating you want people to scroll. So that's a little confusing, I would say. Yeah, so I would think about that, and I just screwed up my change, but I'm going to do that again. Margin top, 4M, and then we're going to do a padding, which is your inner white space. Okay, not that much. Let's do like 0.5M and then 0.8M. All right, so now that's a better take, at least, on the amount of white space inside of it. So if I refresh this, or if I just hide those adjustments I made, this is the original right there versus the two adjustments that I made. Much better. Okay, so let's scroll down. So you're probably using, let's see here. So there's no GSAP. Okay, so you're using your own sort of, I see style components in there. When you scroll like this, this is a scrub-based animation tied to scroll position. Sometimes I'm kind of a fan of not tying it exclusively to the scroll position, but once you get to a certain part, it will direct you. It'll direct you to that next section. Otherwise, we end up with design that kind of looks like this, where everything's cluttered and on top of each other. And when you rely on users to scroll to get to those parts, you know, sometimes people are simple, or if they're on their phone, like you said, it's not mobile friendly though. But anyhow, just a small thing. I could tell you, you know, your scroll animations though. Maybe a smooth scroll would be nice. Like that would really improve the user experience here of having a nice smooth scroll, so it doesn't just like abruptly quit like this. Email, GitHub, LinkedIn. I would have a embedded contact form. But yeah, so would I hire you based on this? I probably as a front-end developer for sure, just because you're able to do this stuff and you're not even utilizing, you know, the framework of GreenSock, which makes all that stuff relatively easy. Next up is going to be long-time subscriber here. You've helped me tremendously in my design career. I've taken your UI design course and it was really well done. I look forward to your new YouTube studio. I can't wait to see it. Thank you for your hard work. Awesome. Let's check it out. A fellow person with long hair. Awesome. Okay, we don't see many long-haired people these days. Actually, what we do see, my daughter, she's like almost 14 years old, so, you know, she doesn't have a boyfriend or anything, but, you know, we see kids her age, and then the teenage boys these days, the hairstyle. What is with that? I'm going to tell you, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here. This is going to be ridiculous. Although it's very difficult to get my ponytail, my man bun thing out sometimes. Sometimes I have to have my wife like literally come by and like help me get it out because I'm like ripping my hair out. This might be a lost cause, but I want to like demonstrate what these modern teenagers, like what they're doing with their hair. Almost got it. Damn, come on. This hair, by the way, is extremely long these days. I have not cut it like 3 years. Get out, come on. Everybody's watching. Don't be an idiot. It's almost there. It's almost, there we go. Okay, yeah, it's one of these things. Anyhow, here's what they're doing. Here's what kids these days do with their hair. They go like this. Like, what is that? What is this poofiness? Anyway, now my hair's down. Okay. Oh, I'm such a 40-year-old man. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. I actually kind of like what I see here so far. Crafting memorable digital experiences. No, I'm a guitarist, an old school shredder guitarist. That's like one of the things. They got to have the long hair with that. Okay. All right. Now, crafting experience. I like the call to action. Secondary versus primary is structured well. Scroll down. Okay. Yep. Okay. We've got a bento grid. People have been talking about. So this is the actual case studies. All right. So we have quite a few projects actually here. What happens when I click on them? All right, so we have a case study specific to that project. View website, very, very clear and concise. Some just minimal scroll activated animations, which is, it's fine. Yeah, pretty solid. Very nice. What's the contact section look like? Okay, so it's just a link. I would like a dedicated page for that. So definitely think about that. Yeah, neo-brutalism. Stop touching your hair, Gary. All right. All right. Next up, how long have we been going for, by the way? Oh, it's 11:18. I said 10:30. Oh, okay. We got it like about 12 minutes left or so. Next up, hey, Gary, this is the coolest portfolio you'll see tonight. Kidding. All right. You definitely were kidding. You were 100% kidding about that, buddy. All right. So I would not hire you based on that. Just to be completely brutally honest. Seeing this, just without even scrolling more, I would not hire you. Okay. And the reason is, well, I'll start pointing them out. So this is very, in my opinion, kind of uninspired. You know, you can see pixelation. You know, in reality, if you're going to use an image like this, it should be vector because it's vectorized. Really, you've ran it through some image processing, and this could entirely be a nice, very clean edged vector graphic. But I would still scrap it because it just kind of seems out of place and slapped on there. We also have your logo. It almost looks like a button. Like you have like the headings, like this looks like a button, really. So you're mixing and matching things that you shouldn't be. You know, and while this sort of thing is cool right here, this little hover thing, it's pretty much impossible to get a good grip of what's fully listed here. So I would list those out like in a more typical unordered list format. So I would definitely work on just leveling up your UI design and modernizing your UI design skills. Alrighty, next up. I think I just generate so many enemies when I do these things. Okay, hi there. Here's my portfolio. Sorry, it's in French, but I appreciate if you could take a look. Well, I am going to take a look. Alrighty. All right, pretty good picture here. Hello. All right. Okay. Let me translate this to English. Okay. Let's discuss. Make an appointment. That's my wife, who I have to not answer. All right. So, okay, right here in this section, it's not inspiring a lot of confidence because these are older school style of illustrations. I forget what they're called. Something like Undraw, I think. They're just kind of older school and they're dated. So I personally wouldn't utilize these illustrations. Typographically speaking, this is pretty good right here. But again, I wouldn't use those illustrations. This I really like. This is probably the most solid part of your layout that I've seen so far. I like the numbers. I like the white space. I like the topography. I like the visual hierarchy. I like the contrast, and I like the colors. So you nailed everything in this area for sure. Stacks right here. See, I'm not too much of a fan of just listing them all out like this. With the white space being indented right here, I would try to rethink about maybe putting these in interesting cards or even like that bento grid, which is like a new kind of, not a new way, but it's becoming a trend to lay out things. So I would think about that. And so would I hire you based on that? I would have to really look at your other projects to really make a solid determination on that. I'm leaning towards probably not, just because I want to see everything leveled up to this level of quality. In the other areas of your design aren't quite to that level. They're a little bit dated. So just think about that, and hopefully that was helpful. Let's check out some comments, make sure I'm still actually going well here. All right. Hello there. Here's my portfolio. Let's check that one out. Ooh, okay. All righty. We have something interesting here. Let's refresh. I thought there was some sort of like line animation I saw here. It's a very interesting graphic. It's like a watermark almost. Welcome to something, a digital web dev showcase. Curious? Ask away. What the heck? What am I supposed to ask? That's my main question that I have right now. What am I supposed to ask? Okay. What is this website about? I hit enter. It's Emil's showcase of web dev magic, digital resume with a creative twist. Okay. So there must be tied into like a GPT-4 or something like that. I'm not sure if this makes too much sense though, because it's confusing. And then it looks like we just have a footer, nothing else. So I think we need to have a more robust landing page here that showcases some of your latest work. So if I click projects, that's requiring me, it's an extra step that requires me to see your projects rather than just scroll down and see them right there. So I would think about that. This is a prototype website, but everything's grouped together here, but I'm not sure if all of these are the same project or not. So it's kind of confusing me. Yeah, so I think what we have is just a kind of confusing things that are occurring here. And it looks like you do have a case study for them, but I would definitely kind of rethink the navigation and the structure of how some of these things are laid out, because it's not too obvious. And so I was just running into the issues of confusion, really. I would scale down the size of these as well. You don't need them to be quite that large, your nav items. Okay, so unfortunately, I probably would not hire you, just based on that alone. Professor Service Snape. All right. Been waiting for this live stream for so long and joined the server because of it. Let's see how a portfolio does. All right, Professor, let's rock. It's taking a while. Come on. Come on. Let's go. How many people are watching the stream? I think it was like not performing very well. Oh, 118. It's better than what it was. Unfortunately, your thing is, oh, finally. I was about to feel real bad for you because you were waiting for so long and it was not loading. Okay. So I make efficient chatbots, mobile apps, solutions. Let's see. CRMs, ERPs, OMGs, WTFs that exclaim perfection. Exclaim? Cry out suddenly, especially in surprise, anger, or pain. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Like no others. I like the fact that it says like no others. Fairly certain you don't put an apostrophe right there. Although I'm no grammar student. I almost failed out of high school. Okay. So you have, I don't like the fact that the headline is all the way out from the very left to right. So I might want to utilize a column here, like a 50-50 split, 2-column approach. That time I made a complete CRM MVP in just 3 months. All right, so this looks like a blog post of some sort or a case study. All right, so it looks like you're more of a developer as opposed to a UI designer. So my work, all right. All right. So would I hire you as a developer? Probably, but I would not hire you as a UI designer. I like my work and this part. And I think, one of the things like for instance, these cards, look at all the white space underneath and how they're uneven. This one's down further than this one. So I would give them maybe a fixed height and then use Flexbox or the grid to position these down to the baseline so that they're all of the view project detail buttons are at the same horizontal row. Okay, next up, this is a lot of type. I'm not sure if I can, I'm not going to read through all of this. So our main focus for the website is to create an impressive platform that attract potential clients, encourage them to order websites from us. At the moment, we have no orders. That sucks, doesn't it? So we're eager to hear what you think. All right, let's check it out. Let's check out. Yeah, it's 11:30 or 11:28. All right. Your go-to design and Webflow partner. Well, first of all, this better have been made in Webflow. It is Webflow. Okay, good. We also have GreenSock in there. All right. So let us handle your marketing assets, websites, graphic designs, and visual identities so you can focus on what you do best. Okay. So my first impression, I haven't even scrolled down. I've never seen this website before. I'm sorry. I was just recalling a comment somebody made, like if I'm like a L'Oreal model because of the hair. All right. I don't know why. Keep focused, Gary. We're almost done. So my initial impression on this is the fact that you're using green for your primary call to action. And that's seated against a red background. So I'm getting strong vibes of like Christmas, or it's just it's very vibrant and busy. And I think that might be okay if you didn't see these things scrolling down here, because we do have these bubble things. They're interacting with my mouse position. So I feel like if we just kind of scale down, you know, this middle hero section a little bit, scale everything down just a bit, and maybe push these elements down, and maybe simplify the background maybe slightly more, it would be better, but it's still pretty solid from what it is. But let's scroll down and see what else is happening here. Unfortunately, I cannot click on these. So these aren't clickable, which I would say is kind of a no-no. You want people to be able to say, click on these and take them to a new website or a case study. Just having, you know, screenshots that are pretty small is not ideal. It's cool that you're doing it like this, but make these clickable, bringing them to the either full website that brings up in a new browser window, or a case study on your page, on your website. This I like. This is pretty cool. If you did this yourself without using some type of component, that's awesome. All right, so that section's pretty cool as well. I like that. I like that scroll activated icons kind of showing up and in. I would restructure the alignment of this so that this is not center aligned. This is all left aligned, creating a nice solid edge right here. Kind of like if I just a nice solid row, or a column rather, where all this stuff is left aligned towards. I've never been a fan of like having two columns and then in one of the columns having centered text. But anyway, pretty solid here. Some of the colors are pretty vibrant. I'm not sure if I like the green hamburger menu up here. I might want to make that just white with black lines instead to make it a little bit more, I guess you could say, neutral. But would I hire you based on this, you know, as a Webflow developer? Yes, perhaps. I think, you know, a lot of your, a lot of the layout here is also very solid. Again, like this part's very solid. That other part up here where I scroll up high enough, this part was solid as well. But yeah. So I would say a strong yes, or strong maybe. I'd have to see more. But anyhow, very nice. So as always, everybody, we're going to go ahead and conclude. If I did not get to your project, let me know if you guys like, you know, you want me to start doing this more regularly, and then we can perhaps start doing it at a weekly or a bi-weekly basis. But if you're interested in learning UI UX and all the things that I talk about, definitely check out the course here. There's a coupon code in the top link of the YouTube description. You're going to learn UI UX in an interactive manner. It's not just video. It's 16 to 18 hours of video. But there's also interactive modules. There's challenges and projects and all that good fun stuff. So as always, make sure to subscribe here. We'll be doing this again. We've gone for an hour, which is the intended time. And I will see you all very, very soon. Yeah, as I cannot wait to get the new format of this channel up and going because it's time to make some changes. All right, everybody. I'll see you all later, and goodbye. End stream.